The training grounds of the Krythal Dominion were infamous across the galaxy. For centuries, every aspiring warrior species had been tested there, facing brutal obstacle courses designed to break both body and spirit. Few non-native recruits lasted past the first trial. Most collapsed within minutes, begging for release. The Dominion proudly called it the Crucible of Endurance. When humans were invited to participate for the first time, the alien observers expected a spectacle: failure, humiliation, and perhaps even casualties. After all, Earth was considered a death world. But surely these soft-boned bipeds could not endure what the Dominion's finest soldiers had trained for since hatching. Among the candidates stood Lieutenant Marcus Hale, a tall, scarred veteran who wore his fatigue uniform as casually as a runner might wear gym clothes. At his side were dozens of other humans, men and women of varying builds, quietly stretching, rolling shoulders, and cracking jokes as if they were about to start a morning jog. The Krythal overseer, Commander Vrylock, announced the challenge in a booming voice. Today you will face the trial of 12. 12 stages designed to grind the strongest into dust. You will climb the wall of blades, run the sands of fire, swim the acid gorge, and finally carry twice your weight across the mile of silence. No being has ever completed it unbroken. Most fail by the third stage. Begin! The siren blared. The non-human recruits, scaled Thricians, heavy-shelled Borake, and wiry Aviaris, charged forward, determination already strained by fear. But the humans? They jogged, calm, smiling, as if they were warming up for track practice. The first stage, the Wall of Blades, was meant to shred hands and feet as competitors clawed their way up its 30 meters of jagged alloy. Aviaris screeched in pain as talons snapped. Borake struggled, their shells scraping uselessly. Marcus and his squad climbed as though it were a rock gym back on Earth. Some even laughed. One private shouted, "Could have used chalk, but I'll manage." In less than 3 minutes, every human was standing at the top, waiting politely for the others to catch up. Commander Vrylock narrowed his eyes. Curious, perhaps luck. The sands of fire followed, a desert where the ground itself burned with volcanic heat. Even with protective gear, recruits normally fainted within 10 minutes. By the 5th minute, the Thricians dropped, scales blistering. Borake trudged with agony. The humans? They moved at a steady pace, sweat glistening, joking between gulps of water. Marcus muttered, "Feels like Arizona in July. Don't forget to hydrate." Another laughed, "I've done worse during football practice." They finished the stage running. Not crawling, not staggering, running. Vrylock clenched his jaw. Impossible. They should be begging for relief. The acid gorge claimed nearly everyone. A river of corrosive liquid had to be crossed with only thin vines as suspension bridges. Aviaris wings melted mid-flight, sending them screeching into the abyss. Borake shells cracked when splashed by droplets. The humans? They treated the vines like a ropes course. Marcus swung hand over hand, boots barely touching. A young corporal even whooped, "Wee!" as she crossed. They emerged unscathed, laughing as if they had just finished recess. By the 8th stage, only humans remained. Vrylock and the Dominion elite watched in silence, disbelief thick in the air. No other species had ever survived this long. Stage after stage, the humans conquered every challenge, not with grim determination, but with casual ease. To them, each obstacle was not a torment, but a routine. They scaled, lifted, ran, swam, and endured with the same attitude one might expect from morning exercise. Some even began competing among themselves. Who could finish fastest, who could carry the heaviest load, who could jump the farthest. By the final stage, the mile of silence, Marcus jogged ahead, carrying twice his body weight in Dominion-forged iron. His breathing was steady, his stride smooth. Behind him, his squad sang an earth-marching cadence, their voices echoing through the trial grounds. They finished together, not broken, not exhausted, not even strained, just warmed up. The crowd of Dominion soldiers, once jeering, now stared in horrified silence. Commander Vrylock descended, his mandibles twitching. "This was not possible," he hissed. "You completed the crucible. With ease. Explain yourselves." Marcus dropped the iron weights as though they were toys. He looked at the towering commander, smirk tugging at his scarred cheek. "That," he said, "that was a warm-up. Back on Earth, we do this kind of stuff before breakfast. You should see our real training." Vrylock recoiled. "Your real training?" Another human, grinning ear to ear, chimed in. "Yeah, this was fun, though. Got anything harder?" The silence of the Dominion base was deafening. For the first time in centuries, the so-called unbreakable crucible had been reduced to a playground. The other recruits who had failed looked upon the humans not with contempt, but with dawning fear. Word spread quickly across the galaxy. Whispers carried through the halls of power. The crucible could not crush them. It only entertained them. And in that moment, the galaxy realized a terrifying truth. What broke every other species, humans used as a warm-up.